Joining me now with some perspective from the other side of the aisle, and also a Midwesterner, Democratic Congressman from Ohio, Greg Landsman. Congressman, thank you for joining us, making time for us today. You could hear Governor Walker, I hope. Just want to get your reaction.
Well, you covered a lot of ground, so, but I do agree that as Midwesterners, we do care about getting results. I mean, actions, as I think he said, speak louder than words, and it's true. There is a bipartisan majority of us in the House who are advocating for this bipartisan border fix to be brought to us so that we can vote on it. And it will get 300, 350 votes. The only reason we can't vote on this bipartisan border fix is because of Donald Trump and the far right. And that happens to be true for a whole host of issues that you all covered. And I as a member of the United States Congress and a Midwesterner, I want to vote on these bipartisan fixes that will make a huge difference.
Okay, I did ask Walker about Republican efforts to both obstruct and exploit, right?
Yeah.
So that you alluded to, no, we can't have border legislation, but it's Joe Biden's fault that we have the problem at the border. But there is definitely more Biden could do, right? There are things that Biden could do, and as we see more migrants moving into the interior of the country, into states like yours, into states like Wisconsin and Michigan and other places, shouldn't Biden do more?
Yeah, I've been critical of the president on this, and I do believe that there's more, especially in the partnership with Mexico. One of the things that I've been advocating for is moving the line in which folks can apply for asylum down below Mexico City to keep folks from moving up to the southern border. I think that is going to happen, but the biggest fixes have to do with legislative changes that Congress needs to pass, and that's in the bipartisan budget bill that we just need to have brought to the floor. I mean, we need more border agents, we need more asylum judges, and then the president needs the authority to shut the border down when it's overwhelmed.
I want you to take a look at this. This is from one of your Democratic colleagues. Doing Trump impressions isn't how we beat Trump. That's what New York's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said, slamming President Biden over even rumors that he might block illegal entrants from filing asylum claims. And it seems like it worked. The administration has sort of gone silent on the executive action front. Yeah. Are progressive Democrats holding the president hostage on this key issue?
Oh, I don't think so. No, I think the president is very independent on this issue. I mean, it's a very complicated but truly important issue, and he's leaned into pretty dramatic changes to the asylum process, changes that I and the majority, it's a bipartisan majority of us support. Again, way more border patrol agents, more asylum judges. You got to get the process from 6 years to 6 months. And you've got to give the administration the authority to close the border. Now, there also has to be pathways, additional work permits. That's not in this bill. It should be. So hopefully we'll have a Congress in the next year that will take on comprehensive immigration reform, which the American people have asked for as long as I can remember.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.